The Israel-Palestinian conflict is one of the longest running and most controversial in the world. At least 17,487 Palestinians have been killed since then. Besides, the ongoing Israel airstrikes on Gaza is already in thousands. Cycle of violence has been going on in this region for decades, and sadly, it seems to have no end in sight. In globalized world, normally, the countries are having international trade, where it is a trade that takes place between two or more countries. This international trade somehow triggers economic interdependence between them. However, global interdependence may also bring advantages where in case any catastrophe happen, one country business operation may easily be affected with disruption. How will the war affect the financial markets? How far it will go? This will be answered throughout the video.
Next, we are going to talk about how the Israel-Palestine war is really impacting the global economy. One of the immediate results of this conflict has been the surge in crude oil prices. The Middle East provides a lot of the world's oil, and because of the conflict, the prices of Brent crude and US West Texas Intermediate crude have gone way up. As we witness these unprecedented spikes, it is essential to recognize the global implications. Countries like the United States, India, and China, which are significant oil importers, might have to pay more for it, and that can cause problems. Also, the surge in crude oil prices presents a direct threat to global inflation rates. As production costs across industries rise, businesses and households may face an increase in energy costs. This could potentially trigger a domino effect, influencing interest rates worldwide. If left unchecked, this could hamper global economic growth, creating a challenging landscape for businesses and investors alike. But what if the conflict keeps going? If the tensions get worse, especially involving other oil-producing nations in the region, like Iran, the consequences could be severe. The global economy might face disruptions, not only in terms of energy supply, but also in broader geopolitical terms. The Strait of Hormuz, it is a waterway for big ships carrying oil, could become a geopolitical hotspot. If something happens there, it could lead to a further surge in oil prices, creating a ripple effect across the global economy.
Moving on to the main impact of the Israel-Palestine war on the financial markets is the increase in geopolitical risk and uncertainty, which affects the prices and availability of commodities and the confidence and sentiments of investors, consumers, and businesses. Some of the immediate financial effects of the conflicts are higher prices for gold as the conflict threatens the stability and security of the Middle East. Next, a stronger US dollar as investors seek a safe haven currency amid the global turmoil. And then a decline of airline stocks as higher oil prices and lower travel demand hurt the profitability and outlook of the sector. And the war has affected different sectors, regions, and groups of people in different ways, depending on their exposure to the conflict. Mainly, the inflation, growth, and employment outcomes have been affected by the combination of higher commodity prices, lower consumer confidence, and lower economic activity, leading to stagflation in some countries and recession in others. Therefore, possible scenarios and outcomes if the war between Israel and Palestine continues or escalates further on the financial market impact, where the regional instability could spread as the conflict sparks tensions and violence in neighboring countries such as Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Egypt, as well as in the wider Middle East and North African region, where the conflict could also undermine the security and stability of key allies and partners of the US and Europe, such as Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Iran.
Next, we will delve into the intricate world of India-Israel trade, scrutinizing the financial repercussions amidst the ongoing Israel-Palestine conflict. India's export to Israel, primarily petroleum products, represent a substantial 1.8% of total merchandise exports. As the conflict intensifies, concerns heighten over potential supply chain disruptions, impacting businesses, trade partners, and the global oil market. Recent statistics reveal that the India-Israel trade partnership, valued at $4.45 billion, is vulnerable to disruptions due to geopolitical unrest. This has consequences not only for economies but also for individuals dependent on the stability of these sectors. On the flip side, India's reliance on Israel for critical imports like machinery, pearls, diamonds and precious stones makes our economic landscape susceptible to disturbance in the region. Now, let's discuss the potential currency impact. The conflict's ripple effect could extend to currency markets, potentially leading to rupee depreciation. Analysts warn that a depreciating rupee could lead to increased inflation, affecting not only international trade but also the cost of living for the people. In times like this, diplomatic solutions become paramount. The Indo-Israel trade partnership stands at a crossroad, demanding careful navigation through the storm of geopolitical uncertainties. Importantly, the conflict has severe humanitarian consequences. Innocent lives are impacted daily, creating an urgent need for a diplomatic resolution to end the suffering of those caught in the crossfire.
In conclusion, the war between Israel and Palestine has had significant and diverse impacts on the global economy, the financial markets, and the trade relations between India and Israel. The future of the conflict and its economic consequences depends on the action and reaction of the parties involved, as well as the involvement and support of the international community. The conflict can either be resolved peacefully and diplomatically through negotiation and dialogue. The conflict can either be contained and mitigated through international mediation and cooperation. The conflict can either be a source of persistent tension and unrest if left unaddressed. The war between Israel and Palestine is not only a political and military issue, but also an economic and social one. It affects not only the life and livelihood of the people directly involved, but also the interests and values of the people around the world. It challenges not only the stability and security of the region, but also the peace and prosperity of the world. It requires not only the attention and awareness of the public, but also the action and responsibility of the leaders. Lastly, do remember that the war between Israel and Palestine is a global problem that needs a global solution. Thank you for watching this documentary.